When the beat drops, you know exactly what time it is. Hello and welcome into another episode of The Blitz. I'm Evan Closky. David Shealy is still changing diapers at home. We have a great show for you. A Buccaneers player is already making a surprising case for All-Pro honors. James Yarko of the Locked On Bucs podcast explains how the offense can function without Mike Evans. Plus, we explain why Todd Bowles has been so successful against Jalen Hurts. So let's get to it. This is the 10 and 10, the 10 most important storylines you need to know before kickoff between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. At number 10, we have a battle of unbeatens inside Raymond James Stadium. While the all-time regular season series record between these two squads is tied at 9-9, the Buccaneers have won 6 of the last 7 meetings, including 2 playoff wins in the postseason. And did we say playoffs? Because we can't talk about the Bucs and Eagles without mentioning Rondé Barber shutting down the vet. Philadelphia has a storied, successful history, but the Bucs have been a pain in their john for far too long. Tampa Bay 4-2 when these two squads meet in the postseason. At number 9, Tampa Bay gets to play the defending Super Bowl champions since 2010, and including the playoffs. The Bucs are 4-7 against reigning Lombardi winners. Also, since Philly's loss in Week 4 last year to Tampa Bay, the Eagles are 19-1, never losing a matchup with their core 4 of Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown, and Saquon Barkley. The Bucs see this as a big opportunity.
I mean, every single week in this league is competitive. Don't get me wrong on that. But when you're playing the Super Bowl champs from last year, a team that's, really, really good, you always try and elevate your game a little bit.
I mean, they're a well-talented team, so I'm just excited to be able to see how we measure up. I mean, it's a good test, but Bowles keeps talking about it's not about them, it's about us pretty much. And this game won't win a Super Bowl, won't lose a Super Bowl, but it'll be able to put us in a good position.
At number 8, if the game comes down to the final minutes, the Eagles do not want to see Baker Mayfield have the ball in his hands. Tampa Bay is the first team in the Super Bowl era to have a game-winning score in the final minute of the fourth quarter in 3 consecutive games to begin a season. Only the 3rd time ever it has happened, joining the 2017 Steelers and the 1994 Giants. Now, Baker Mayfield logged some limited time in practice this week. On Wednesday, we saw him throwing a little bit during the media window. On Thursday, we did not. He has certainly been beaten up many times to begin the year, but he continues to find a way to lead this team. At 7, it's a different story for Mike Evans, who suffered his annual hamstring injury against the Jets and will miss at minimum 2 weeks of action. This is the 7th consecutive season Evans has had some sort of hamstring issue, and many fans are wondering if he will be able to make it to 1,000 receiving yards. Right now, Evans has 140 yards on the year. Let's say he returns Week 7 for Monday Night Football against the Lions. He would need to average a little more than 78 yards per game to get it done. Certainly doable for the future Hall of Famer. So let's bring in my guy, James Yarko, now. The Locked On Bucs burning question of the weekend. James, there's no replacing a talent like Mike Evans. How does Josh Grizzard and this offense find success without their star wide receiver on the field?
Yeah, I mean, losing Mike Evans for this game, it was pretty much the worst possible time for this to happen, especially when after this week you have Seattle, you have the 49ers, you have the Lions. But, against this Philadelphia defense, you have to be Dave Canales level stubborn about the run game. The Eagles are susceptible on the ground. The Rams ran for over 160 yards as a team against this Eagles defense last week. So Bucky and Rashad really have to take on the heavier load in this one. You do not want Baker dropping back and throwing the ball 40 plus times in this game. You do not want long developing plays where he has to sit back in the pocket. The Eagles defense is number 1 in the NFL in yards after catch allowed this year. And by number 1, I mean they are the best. They are the stingiest defense in allowing yards after catch. But with guys like Emeka Egbuka, Sterling Shepard, who was crucial with yards after catch against the Jets, fingers crossed that Chris Godwin is able to play a little bit. So stubborn with the run game, establish it, build the play action game off of that, and that's when things are going to be able to open up down the field for Baker Mayfield and, of course, Emeka Egbuka.
Thank you, James. At number 6, it isn't all bad news for the Buccaneers on the injury front. You heard James mention Chris Godwin Jr. He is logging full practices. Tristan Wirfs logging full practices. Those are 2 very important pieces who will help out Grizzard a lot. When Wirfs returns to action, there is a good chance that the left side of this line will be back to normal with Bredesen sliding to guard and Barton to center. Wirfs and company will hope to rattle off their 12th straight game rushing for at least 100 yards. They've also held opponents to less than 100 yards rushing as the first of its kind in NFL history. At number 5, you know Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley are looking to end that streak in Tampa, but both have not done too well against Todd Bowles in the past. Let's start with Barkley, dating back to his days with the Giants when he squares off against a Bowles-led defense 2 out of 3 times he's been held to 25 yards or less. He has also never found the end zone. As for Jalen Hurts, he is 53-16 against everyone but the Buccaneers versus Tampa Bay, 1-4. According to Next Gen Stats, Todd Bowles has cooked up a 39% pressure rate against a Super Bowl winning quarterback. So will Hurts fall victim once again to Bowles and his disguised blitzes, or will Hurts' improvement against the blitz win out? So far, he is getting the ball out in less than 2.6 seconds against the blitz, by far the fastest mark of his career. At number 4, the Eagles are so sick and tired of these bad games against Tampa Bay, they decided to travel to town a day earlier than normal. Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni explained the decision earlier this week.
That was part of our process when we studied some things in the offseason with the heat and everything like that. Get out there a day earlier to acclimate, one less day, off the plane before you play a game. So those are a couple things to name a few.
Now, if I'm keeping it a buck, one extra day is not going to do diddly squat to acclimate to this heat. From a mental standpoint, maybe I get it. From a physical standpoint, I've been living here for 5 years now, and I'm sweating in places I never thought were possible. Win or lose, I do not want this to be an angle because I just watched the Buccaneers crumble in the fourth quarter last week, and they spent all of training camp in this weather. It's mind over matter and a lot of hydration. At number 3, don't make a scene. It's just Dean. Jamel Dean, of all people, gave Tampa Bay its first pick 6 since the home opener 2 years ago with Shaq Barrett. Mike Edwards was the last DB to pull it off 3 years ago. Through 3 games, Dean has been targeted 13 times in coverage. He's allowed an opponent passer rating of 14.6. Not for nothing, but he's playing at an all-pro level right now. As for the offense, it has been 3 games and the group has yet to turn the ball over. Baker Mayfield has come close on multiple occasions, just hasn't happened yet. The longest streak without a giveaway from team history is 4 games set in 1990. Tampa Bay is 11-3 under Baker Mayfield when the team does not turn the ball over, so that is certainly not a coincidence and a big reason why they're 3-0. And speaking of 3-0, it's the 5th time the team has started out this well to begin a season. They made the playoffs in the previous 4 occurrences. Okay, finally, at number 1, it's the One Buc. With all the injuries on the offensive line, Ben Chukwuma, an undrafted free agent, isn't too far away from stepping on the field. He's also one of those great finds by Jason Light and his scouting department. Joined right now by Ben Chukwuma, we'll call you Chuk, right?
Yeah, Chuk.
First off, just how excited are you to have this opportunity in the NFL? You have such a remarkable story to make it here.
I mean, I'm blessed, because it still hasn't hit me. I'm in the NFL. Then I just found out I made it the 53-man roster, so it's just exciting. I'm blessed. I called my mom, told my mom, she started crying.
Where you grew up, how you got involved in football, it truly is amazing.
Yeah, born and raised in Nigeria. Moved here when I was 17. I tried to play basketball because other than soccer, I grew up playing soccer. Then I got to college, I still wanted to play basketball, so I was still going to the rec every day to, practice and stuff. But the people in the rec were so good and stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, it's time to, shut down this dream. And so one day, going into my junior year of college, I seen a couple of football players, they seemed cool. I walked up to them, I asked them, okay, I'm trying to join the football team, what can I do? I signed up, tried out, and made the team.
It's incredible. So walk on, you've pretty much learned the sport maybe a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then into the NFL, just what has been the toughest part of that transition?
The toughest part is, the knowledge of the game because, I'm still new. So I'm still learning. Every day I'm still learning. I'm like, okay, I see why this is, the way it is. So it's just pretty much the general knowledge of the game that's the toughest part.
What does it mean to have an organization believe in you while you're still trying to find your way here?
It's a blessing, to whom much is given, much is expected. So it's a blessing. I'm really grateful and thankful for them for believing in me. The only thing I can do from this point going forward is keep working hard, keep grinding, and keep getting better every day.
Keep an eye on Chuk. Let's jump right into the all-out blitz and start with the parlay of the week. Shocker, I went 2 for 3 once again last week. I am so due. I think the Bucs are still struggling against running backs in the passing attack, so Saquon Barkley looks like a good number to me. Baker Mayfield cannot help himself. Bum arm, might use his legs again. Finally, I think points will be hard to come by. Chase McLaughlin hitting at least 2 field goals. Round it all up, and that is plus 600. As for the games right here on 10 Tampa Bay at 1 o'clock, we have a great NFC matchup between the Commanders and Falcons. Then at 4:25, all eyes will be on Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes for another installment of the Ravens and the Chiefs. Checking out our Blitz picks record, David and I both 2-1. Both of us have picked every game the same way thus far, but that is about to change this weekend. As for my pick, I think this is a close game until the fourth quarter. I just believe some natural regression is going to kick in. Bucs are due to turn the ball over. The defending champs will be motivated to beat Tampa Bay because this has been their Achilles heel for far too long. I have the Eagles winning 23-13, separating themselves in the final 5 minutes. As for David, he has the Buccaneers 24-23. He told me that the Bucs own the Eagles in September, and once again, they will just find a way to win. Hopefully he is right, and I am wrong. It has happened many times in the past. Thank you for joining us on the Blitz. Reminder, kickoff from Ray J's at 1 o'clock. Next week, it's off to the beautiful Pacific Northwest to see the Bucs take on the Seahawks right here on 10 Tampa Bay. For David Shealy at home with the baby, I'm Evan Closky. This is the Blitz. We will see you same time or same place next weekend.